So what we did here, we started with validation. Please go back to that slide. We started with validation. We had to run a regression analysis to see the relationship between the bulking index, real time, and the bulking index using GPR. And we found out that the regression analysis, the relationship was very high. And this signifies that either tool can be used to assess for early bulking. So, and at the same time, one can be replaced with the other. Then, we then had to assess the genotypes. We used over 250 genotypes to assess for early bulking using this GPR tool. We were able to identify 3 genotypes that are early bulkers at 6 months after planting. So the good thing about this is that we also did the normal phenotyping, that's in real time, and we also found out that these same genotypes that we have found to be early bulkers at 6 months after planting, we are also found to be early bulkers using the real time. That's a normal phenotyping method. The next slide is assessment of SuperGrow organic liquid fertilizer for cassava production. We actually wanted to see if this liquid fertilizer will have any effect on the yield of cassava. And the genotype developed was CME 419. So they were subjected to different levels of treatment. So from the results, looking at the sprout count percentage, we found out that when the stakes were soaked 24 hours in the liquid fertilizer, it really affected the sprout count compared to other treatments. The sprout count was lower compared to the other treatments. Then when we found out that it also affected the root yield by soaking the cassava stakes for 24 hours, affected the root yield, and it gave the least root yield in tons per hectare. But 4 applications, that's spraying at 3, 9, and 12 weeks, 3, 6, 9, and 12 weeks after planting, gave the highest yield for fresh root yield. So the key achievement is that the SuperGrow application at 3, 6, and 9, 12 weeks after planting gave the highest root yield of 22.8 tons per hectare compared to the yield obtained with NPK application, which gave the yield of 22 tons per hectare. Then the lessons learned, sprout count and root yield were significantly affected when the stem cuttings were pre-soaked in SuperGrow. Utilization of Nrcri cassava processing technologies by small medium-scale processors in Abia State. We actually carried out this study to know whether the processors in Abia State are actually making use of our processing technologies. So it's good to know that they are actually making use of our processing technologies, but there are some technologies that ranked higher than the others. Like processing of cassava into gari came first. Processing of cassava into odorless fufu was the second, and processing of cassava into high-quality flour was the third. Then we also wanted to know if these farmers are actually generating income using these cassava processing technologies. And the answer we got was yes, because from the findings we can see a positive correlation between the income generated and the cassava technology. So the key achievement is that most of our cassava processing technologies are being utilized by the processors. Then the lesson learned is that there is meant to be more sensitization is needed on cassava flour, on cassava processing technology for flour, for starch, and for chips, and the use of cassava flour for bread making. Extension agents and farmers' knowledge on the use of Plant Village Nrcri app to identify prevalent diseases of cassava in Abia State. It's good to know that most farmers, they know that the diseases attack their cassava, but they don't actually know what these diseases are. So this Nrcri app will help them to know the kind of disease that is in their farm, and it will also help them to know the measures to take to control those diseases, and it will also help them to know how to go about everything. So we asked them, how do you know about these cassava diseases? We found out that from the source of information, the highest number was gotten from the WAVE project here in Nrcri, and also our home institutes. So what happened here is that what happened here is that our extension workers here under WAVE project, they went to train the farmers on how to use this app. So they didn't just end there. They had to go back again to know whether they are actually making use of it. So from this result, about 82% of the farmers and extension agents are actually making use of this Nrcri app.